Hi, we've got a fallow deer fawn that has got an injury on its back, so we need to catch it and treat that wound so that there's not any infections or anything. How we're going to do that is we're going to tranquilize it with a blowpipe. We don't have a system here to trap them individually, so this is the best way to do it. The equipment that we need is we need the tranquilizing dart, which has a feather on the back. Here how it works is we've got basically looks like a syringe on this side, and on the back is a air compartment that we blow pressure air in to cause pressure, and what we will do is we'll put a needle on the end of it, and this needle, as you can see, has a little hole there, so that when the dart goes into the deer, we place a rubber collar over that hole, and what happens is when the dart goes into the deer, it pushes that rubber collar back, and then that releases the drug that you want to administer. So we will put that on first of all. That then goes on the syringe, and we will pressurize that later. So we will also need a filling. This is a little metal tube that you can put on here, and then it's easy to fill up the air and the drug. Okay, I have two, one that I use for the air and one that I use for the water. What I firstly do all the time is just pump to make sure that there's no blockages in it, because we only have one chance to dart the deer. If you miss the opportunity, it might be a while before you get a chance to do it, because they get very afraid once you have the first go. Alright, so we have the drug, which is a sedation drug, muscle relaxant that we will put in. So I will load up the syringe. We're not going to use too much. I always put in a little bit of air as well to put in there. So then we fill up the syringe. Always make sure that you do it this way, because if you do it upside down, as you can see, that little stopper will create the vacuum and it'll just push it back up. So we load up the drug, and then now we put it up, and then what I do is take out a bit of the air. As you can see, some of the drug comes back, and that's why I like to put in that little bit of air first of all. There you go. So that's all in. Alright, then we take that off and we place the needle on. And we tighten it with some small pliers. Don't over tighten it, because you're probably going to break the plastic part on it. Alright, then we pressurize it. The same little metal thing with a larger syringe. I use a 20 milliliter syringe to get more, and we load it up. Always place a little bit of pressure in it first, and then I check to make sure that there's no leaking coming out of the collar or else out of here. If there's a little bit of pressure in there, it's not going to leak too quickly, and then you can quickly push something in there to release the pressure. A little metal piece of wire or something, usually it does the trick. So it looks good, so I'll put a little bit more pressure in. With these, you can't put too much pressure in, or else it will eventually come out. Okay, so once you can see that it is pressurized, that little rubber thing doesn't move anymore, then we can put on the feather. Whoops. We can put on the feather, and then our dart is ready to go. So then I insert it in the blowpipe, then you just use something to push it in, right? And then we're ready to go. We're going to go feed the deer, which we do every day, and when it comes closer, hopefully I'll get an opportunity to dart it. It's not that easy because the deer generally tend to stay together, so I will wait for a really good opportunity and a good shot before I do it. And it's a case of, if it doesn't happen today, we just walk away and we will try again later, or else tomorrow morning. So the next time you see me, we'll be trying to dart the fawn.